bad comp here from a Freak of Freaks by any means, and it has a lot of synergy, but again, it's going to be on Fly to really carry the game.
Yeah. And that can be the thing. You know, if you also had a Jason there, it feels a little bit safer in terms of what you got, and you have some really great disengage with Braum and Lee Sin, but the Gnar wants to get in there, and if you can't do some upfront poke damage, you don't want to only rely on the Varus. So as you mentioned, a lot of pressure onto Fly, which isn't always what we get to see.
It's, you know, been kind of an up and down year for Gnar in the meta. You know, at the very beginning of the year, you and I jokingly coined the orange buff on the top side of the map because we had so much Twisted Fate and we were seeing so much Camille, and Gnar was just getting crushed in the matchup a lot of the time. As this is a, you know, very common skin that we the observers like to show the dance moves out at the beginning. But in this later part of the season, in summer, we've seen only a few players really pull off the Gnar, and most top laners in the second half, like the bottom half of the LCK, just downright avoiding it. Dre, excuse me, I'm trying to make a point here. Because of the so many meta counters that he has, and also just team fights sometimes being reliant on Gnar bar. So Keen is, you know, you argued he might be the best top laner in the LCK. I think a lot of people would agree with that sentiment, but is he the best Gnar player in the LCK? I don't think most would say that. So I'm curious to see how he performs.
I don't think so. As you mentioned, there's a lot of names you can put on that list. I think Khan was one of them, especially for early on in this year and in this split. Also, you got Hoya. You got Summit. That's another big one. Another guy who, these are a couple of guys that they have Gnar almost permabanned against them. And then there were a couple of times where it's like, oh, you didn't ban Gnar, I guess I'm just going to blind pick it. And then the other team was like, well, now we're just going to counter it. And
yeah.
had some luck with that in recent times.
Even saw Kingen have his moments on the Gnar earlier on in spring.
Also the Maokai.
Yes. I don't like to talk about those, but you keep bringing it up. And
it was yesterday. I can't get it out of my mind. It was so good.
I did watch a professional game of League of Legends that was played with the Maokai top in 2021.
Yeah.
I wish I hadn't, but I did. I watched the whole thing.
Next is Singed. He's next in the meta.
Yeah? Who's after that?
No, that's as far as it goes.
Okay. I'm glad we can end it there.
And of course, Lehens is the one that plays the Singed.
Yes, he's been hovering it quite a bit, you know.
He's waiting for his moment. Maybe it's playoffs. I was about to say maybe it's playoffs and then say, oh wait, but actually they did make playoffs. So good on you, Afrika.
Fly making this early game very annoying for the Sylas. He's going to often be reliant on his jungler, Blank in this case, to help bring this matchup back to light. In the early parts, it's going to just be really frustrating. But it is a very volatile matchup based on those skill shots landing. If the bubble or the chains connect, somebody might die.
Yeah.
They do have, both of them have a little bit of CC with their junglers, so that can help really set that up. Xin Zhao going to be obviously a lot more powerful pre-6.
And take a look at this. Pry on the bottom side means that the bottom scuttle is going to the side of Afrika, and the top scuttle is going to Dread because he skipped a couple of those camps. He's going to get there first. And so Blank on the Xin Zhao just going to go ahead as we do have the sleep coming in, and that is going to be Dread baited way under the turret as some extra damage coming in. He actually has to flash away.
You know, I said if the skill shot connects somebody might die. Well, have to be a little bit further away from the turret for that to actually commence with the
technically the truth.
Yeah, technically true, but in this particular case, yeah, it was not the attacker who was going to maybe potentially die, as that's a gank that costs you your flash, which is pretty frustrating. Dove loses his, though, in exchange, which does limit some of his engage potential on, for example, this upcoming Rift Herald. Timing of that's on a very long cooldown. Fly is really being quite annoying, though, in this early game. And we talked about his Orianna a lot. We talked about the Syndra that's been target banned in the series. But his Zoe, at its highest of highs, like it has very high peaks. There have been a few troughs across the years, but high peaks. Okay, let's focus on that. And so far, he's peaking right now in this laning phase. He's on the peak side.
Yeah, it's looking good. the Silas into Zoe matchup, as you've kind of touched on already, not the most fun. Also not the most fun ultimate to steal, but we'll see if he can get the Lee Sin kick. And then obviously, with all of his mobility, he'd definitely like that. And we'll just have to see how these fights break out. The 2v2 can be extremely volatile, as it looks like we are going to have Blank eventually just push down into the bottom scuttle and take that one down. So he's able to pick it up.
Yep. Very calm early game outside of that gank that we did see fail. With the timing of the back here for Fly, Dove is just going to push this in after he teleported back, and that will be matched by Fly as soon as his health bar and mana regen. As you can see, comes back here. It's just standard League of Legends. As this is very annoying.
Oh, stun lands. Oh, yeah, thank you, Kennen, for that addition to the cast. Blank is around, but he's on vision, so this is actually huge for Afrika.
I feel like I've seen this before somewhere.
And Lee Sin could just straight up run into the dragon if he really wanted to pick it up at this moment in time. They have some decent prio from the bottom side.
Yeah, I think that's a realistic option right now, especially considering that Lehens is here to kind of stop any rotation down, but they decide not to. It's going to be Doran teleporting back to lane just in time to catch this minion wave. See if Keen can actually smack this turret. No.
Yeah, that's kind of the way this series is going, right? Like,
I'm sorry, everyone. I'm like, I really wanted today to be the most amazing day ever, and it hasn't been the most amazing day of League of Legends ever. And
it happens.
It's not. I wanted to say it's been a long night, but it really hasn't actually. It just feels like it's been a long night, Valdez. There's the smacking of the turret. The demolished proc going to be the plate.
And okay, Doran just flashes in. He's got Keen under the turret. That's a lot of damage, but he gets himself into danger. But who's in danger, actually? Keen is going to take it. The boomerang would not land, as the Q will finish it off. A double kill for Doran. He crushes the hopes of Afrika's top and jungle.
Oh, there you go. In one fell swoop, another failed gank. Weak side Doran up here is just going to take a double. Thank you very much. And now suddenly fed Kennen. This is a problem for a lot of reasons, but the main one is going to be that his items are going to start to come alive. He's also got a call, so he's going to be very, very fed in the mid game, where he's going to start actually being able to team fight properly, because that's when those 5v5 fights are going to start happening. And this is a huge problem for Ulises, who's now even further behind, because remember, he stayed up here for a really long time. Okay, watch this happen. He flashes forward, gets the double stun under turret, and then he doubles down on this. Like, this is not the play, unfortunately, for Dread to go in there, and he just blind hits the Q.
Okay, nice.
Doran looked like he was about to be like disappointed with
Whoa.
himself. You can hear the crane cast in the background, but like this is a moment where like Doran wanted to be like, it could have been better, but he just has to be like, no, actually that was pretty solid for me.
Nice. I guess.
And if he gets POG in the ending interview, he'll be like, well, I should have been able to kill him before I had to throw the blind Q, because it was a low chance.
Shouldn't have been in that position in the first place. Like, I definitely should have known that gank was possible. Like,
if this was on a different patch, it might not have killed him, you know?
And of course, the 6-minute, 48-second timing, like, everybody knows that one. Like, I should have been more aware.
You gotta love someone who's always trying to be the best version of themselves. Doran is no exception of that.
Okay, we're going to have that flash, but no flash out of Zeus. He flashes after. As now, ultimate comes in, and, it's going to go short. Not going to land onto much. And it doesn't seem like either team wants to take this Ocean Drake just yet, so just going to be farming out of jungles some more. And the flash from Doran on the play up on the top side was actually pretty cool, because he was, of course, expecting the Gnar ultimate. So he was just trying to get out of the range of it. He also put himself in a position where the angle was like
double stun
below. Yeah, it was double stun, but it was also below the turret. So Gnar wasn't in range, and also he didn't have a wall to actually put Doran into and potentially combo him down. So
yeah.
Then the Kennen was on the run, and he was double stunning them under turret, and that's when everything went wrong
That's when
Freaka.
that's when he turned on. You know, he turned to the left, so he kills one target. The one that survives is the one that's on the wrong side of the map. So he ends up blind shuriken killing him there with the Q, but he would have been able to chase him down very likely either way, or someone on his team might have been able to if they rotated up. So he's very fed early on in this game. He's going to get his rocket belt very early, and that gives him so much more mobility. And we might actually live in a world where Kennen is getting kill pressure on his own in a lane, which doesn't happen very much in this meta, but he actually, as soon as he finishes that call, is going to be in a position to start to maybe threaten that. As Dove lost his flash in that last exchange too, on the bottom side of the map, so you know, he lost his first flash early, then had to use the second one in the second skirmish, so he is just not able to be as aggressive as he'd like, and that helps the first Drake go over here to Afrika as this matchup, again, favoring Fly. But because no resources have been given to Dove here, he's, you know, he's just having a bad time, straight up.
Yeah. He's just sitting here, farming. Fly not able to kill him, at least. But as you mentioned, Dove just has to play super passively. Just because of the way these fights have worked out for him.
Having a bad time, not in the sense that like he's getting crushed in lane and he's just like not even able to play the game, just having a bad time, and he has no agency.
Yeah.
Which is really frustrating as a Sylas player.
And Lehen's up here. I mean, we have this Rift Herald actually. No, we don't. We have Dread who did pick that up.
Yeah, he picked that up earlier. He's getting closer to timing out on that. We'll have to use it eventually.
Have this Rift Herald ready to be placed down.
It's probably going to get dropped in the mid lane, you would think. There's a chance that it does end up getting used in the bottom lane, but the timing of it doesn't work out for the next Drake because the first one was taken so late, so that's kind of awkward. The top lane, you're losing so hard that you're at very high risk of actually getting collapsed on if you try to use it there. So I think the mid lane is going to be the most realistic option here. And as I say it, he is rotating over there. He's just out of vision.
Yes, the Stride Breaker pickup on the Zoe.
Yes.
Always a favorite. Big fan.
She just really hates that nerf.
Doesn't even. I mean, it's like makes Zoe even useless and in a different way, in an unexpected way.
It's like really a direct nerf to Zoe mains is. Okay, Rift Herald does get dropped bottom, so a lot of extra gold going to go over the Varus in this case, not the Zoe.
Yeah, they had good pressure down there, so they weren't really able to clear out the wave, and that allowed Leo to just stick around, pick up a couple of plates first, and then get 2 more. So, yeah, it's a nice little win here for Afrika. Getting some gold into their carries.
Yeah.
Bit, of course, to go over to Dread.
You know, it's both the Varus and the Zoe are going to have similar roles in setting up damage in the mid to late game. So getting either fed, the payoff is fairly similar in terms of what it's going to be useful for. Also, if you're going to be laning in Sazerac for just a little bit longer before, you know, that laning phase for the bot lane ends, getting that extra gold for Varus could be very frustrating.
Yeah. Just had a Yumi W, of course, thrown out there by Fly as he missed the cannon. It's the most action we're getting right now, so Jonah Strong made sure to zoom in on that one. Let everybody know that is what did take place. Thank you very much.
Always appreciate it.
See that Braum and Leona are waiting here for some ganks, but no junglers are around. Nobody's looking for a gank either.
Now look at the items. This is the timing I was talking about for Doran when he backs, where he has the Rocket Belt, and Keen does not have his Mythic up. Is going to go back now. I believe he got second Blasting Wand as well. He got something else on top of the Rocket Belt. So he is very, very strong at the moment. Nope, just upgraded his boots into Amp Tone, but still. Is it going to be able to be very frustrating, even more so than he was moments before, because Keen just doesn't have the same amount of money. Like, he can't buy his Mythic, so this is just going to be an issue that compounds upon itself. They have so much control on the top side of the map, KT do, as a result of those early kills.
And you can see they're kind of skirmishing over vision here. Really, KT are just trying to get some engages. Zeus is here. They're waiting for that flash out of Fly, but he just holds on to it, and that was pretty smart because could have just waited for Zeus to throw out the Solar Flare. Never did. May have wanted to trade that Solar Flare for the flash, actually, but did not end up going for that play.
Okay, that's optimistic, but it doesn't hurt to toss it out. Got this nice grab there on the Lee Sin kick, which is going to be, as you mentioned earlier, very, very powerful here in this mid game. Set up for a potential pick. Doran does have teleport for this Drake fight, and he's extremely fed and will be very, very deadly if he does decide to ult in. But he can also just stay and wait till the last possible second, because KT are in a really nice spot to start posturing around that. The vision control, though, is definitely a freakus. Look at all those wards around the Drake pit, because KT is just not about vision control in this series.
Yeah. That's what we like to call the Christmas tree.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's totally lit up. They see absolutely everything. Varus, Leo, down on the bottom side, he was basically just on vacation, playing PvE, getting a bunch of the minions, taking down the turret, a bit of jungle as well, threw down some wards, and now he's in the top side doing the same thing.
This is somewhat concerning that Afrika get 2 Drakes for free, but KT do get that extra Rift Herald drop, do get the top turret, and, you know, are otherwise, you know, not getting a whole lot here. I feel like what KT could have done, which would have been a lot higher potential value, would have been to contest the Drake with the composition they have with the Fed Cannon, and then would have gotten a further lead, which would have allowed them to use that Rift Herald the same way, if not better. But they decided to play a little bit passively, and as a result, Afrika have a pretty massive Drake advantage right now. It's a Cloud Soul, so, you know, your mileage may vary on this one, but don't necessarily feel like KT needed to give that one up for top turret there.
Yeah, definitely something that could have been considered, because you may want to wait for your Ezreal to get 2-3 items. You want him to be online. You want to have control of the map, but you know, for those flanks. But
5Kid in a little bit of trouble here. I don't think he knows Dread is here.
yeah, he's been holding this down alone for a very long time, and I think Afrika eventually realized, like, well,
that's a turret.
Nobody else is here, so I guess we'll just group up and take it away from the 5Kid.
That's really frustrating for him, because he's just trying his best to hold on to it. Does respect the potential there of, you know, a gank coming through, because there's literally no vision. It's just now kind of being cleared away here for KT on the top of the river there around Dragon. But so much of this game has just been Afrika controlling the vision. As this is always a fun interaction.
I was gonna say, this is like Silas's happiest moment when he gets to become Gnar. For just a moment in his lifetime, that's the happiest.
Yeah.
And now it's gone.
It's gone. It's over.
And that's how it went. They both Gnar'd each other, and then they went their separate ways.
But at least he could say, well, King, you'll never be able to be Gnar whenever you want to, like I can.
True.
Hey.
And I mean,
he doesn't have vision here, and there's a teleport.
It's a nice little hop. He does get slowed on the way, and there are some friends alongside of him. Lahens is here, and there's still a turret behind them, so...
Oh, this was not very well timed, and you know who's really winning right now is Fly, who's just at the top side of the map doing the same amount of damage for nothing committed. As Doran loses his teleport here, and Fly's like, cool, that's I'll take 1 man kills 1 turret versus 4 man
nice.
kill 1 turret.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's kind of the feeling right now.
I mean, unfortunately for Doran, like, that teleport is a good idea if Afrika decide to push the issue or trying to actually take the fight, but they were just walking away, so he just kind of came down there and lost a turret, which is just, you know, not ideal again.
Yeah.
To put it nicely here is...
And I feel like this game is in a spot where, for KT, if you weren't making plays earlier, now the Zoe and the Varus are really getting online. Some of that lethality is beginning to be built for the Varus, and they have map control. So if you were going to fight earlier, you had to do it before now.
Yeah.
And now you're in a position where it's like, well, we don't really get to fight on our terms. We don't have a lot of vision. We don't have a lot of flank wards. So how exactly are we going to do this? And I think what's going to happen, unfortunately, you know, based on the way this game has been going, is I think we're gonna sit here and we're gonna farm it out for another 6 minutes.
Oh, I think so.
I think Afrika take position on the Drake.
Yeah.
after they back. Maybe KT make a stand.
KT.
That could be one place where they can get some vision, and maybe they are able to fight a fight on their terms.
I would like to see KT use the ward item around the dragon.
What's that?
It's an item that grants vision.
Okay.
There's a vision ward, which is also the ward totem. You can use that to teleport.
I just buy Rabadon's death cap.
Well, that's often good if you can afford it. Because without any teleport wards for Doran, which he doesn't have teleport for this next streak anyways, that's not even a relevant factor. But if he doesn't have that, or the vision to control how he's going to position here, he's going to really struggle to get value. I mean, he has Horizon Focus, all right? It's crazy to me that Doran got 2 kills and got insanely fed early on, but has not been able to push that advantage anywhere on this map, sadly. And now he can't even flank because there's more vision here for a Freak on the other side, so he just kind of has to wait, maybe hope that Freak will walk straight into him, which could happen.
Dove just barely gets away, and that'll be KT's Q to come on in here. Doran's got some pretty heavy-hitting Qs, by the way, speaking of which.
No teleport ward for Dove.
And it's going to go the way of the Lee Sin, and Afrika, they get in, and will they get out is the question. Nice kick. Dove is in there in the back, and a big Gnar ultimate into the wall, as real Narkeen is getting crushed in the pit, and KT take a big fight, 3 for 1.
But they lose the Drake. And Dove does find a very, very far away teleport ward and is able to help set up the trap there for KT to get the kills. He dies for it, but it ends up being worth it because it's a 1 for 3, or 3 for 1 rather, in KT's favor. So it ends up being great for them. But this is now a sole point for Afrika with some ultimates that aren't really going to get too much value out of the Cloud Soul, but the mobility is always going to be nice. But this is a really nice setup here for Afrika to come in and steal, because there's just not a lot of pressure, and Sylas is one of the most punishing champions you can face in a scenario like this, but when you know he's not here, you feel very confident about this. And he gets that, see that ward there to the left where the observers pan down? That's where he teleports to, and is able to lock them in so they can't get out. But the end result is a lot of gold going over to KT, which is finally some gold going over to the Sylas too, is going to be able to use that very well in some of these fights. But I worry that Afrika might just have too much power and too much control over the map and too much ability to just walk away from these upcoming Drake fights if things look poor for them, because they have that option now.
Yeah. You're very right. I mean, there's not really much that changes. I feel like we just go back into a very similar spot. Yes, the carries of KT get some extra gold, but, you know, Ezreal's still on 2 items. It's a good place to be as an Ezreal, don't get me wrong, but they need to have some way to start fights on their terms. And
like a cannon?
I don't think that exact... okay, well, he's going to start a fight on his own terms, says Doran, not able to quite get the kill.
Valdez, we just watched that happen on TV.
We did. That was real life.
Yeah, this is not a drill. Ah! He's got his teleport available still, but now he doesn't have his ultimate, so can't make an impact to this topside skirmish. And Doran is playing to crush lane. His team got him that advantage, but he's not able to get the kill here. And
take it away, Wolf.
I didn't want to
take it away.
I didn't want to prevent you from playing this, but like he ends up losing.
No, please do.
He ends up losing out on his ultimate here. He is able to force Keen back, but doesn't even get his flash. Like, his flash is now down, and if Afrika just continue to have vision control here, KT are not going to have very many opportunities for these, carries to come in and set up for the Ezreal to do damage, right? Like, Xin Zhao can also set up, but you want to be able to have a Sylas looking for a nice setup and going in, or a Kennen coming from the backside, especially a Kennen that's fed, right? He's now 2-0-2. There's a Horizon focus. But he uses, that advantage to try to push something on the bottom side of the map, which was, I mean, you're fed, but you can't kill the Gnar, especially because he's itemizing against you. The Negatron cloak going to make it a lot easier to survive at these moments.
Yeah, especially as you get some more items. Could be easier. Will depend on how the fight begins, of course. And if Doran's able to find an angle with his flash, well, maybe next time he can get the kill. But for now, no. as KT are waiting here around the dragon, seems like they have found a ward and killed it.
Yes, that did happen.
That's where we're at right now.
Yeah, no, I mean, this game could get really spicy, though, if KT start actually...
It's one of those slow burns, right?
Yeah.
At first, you have a couple of bites, and it's like, this isn't that spicy. I can handle this. And then it comes later.
And then you like you drink your water at the restaurant really fast, and it's like not enough, and the waitress, it's America, so like the waitress isn't coming forever, and you're like, I just really want more water, so you start sucking on the ice, and it's not helping. Just moving the spices around. They don't have milk, that hot wing restaurant. I'm not talking about a personal experience or anything.
It sure sounds like you are. This is suspiciously specific. And yeah, there's a lot of poke going on here. 5Kid, he's got red buff. He's got some confidence. Is that a true shot barrage?
Freaka are in a place where if, there was a cannon flank angle, they'd be in a really nice spot to punish that, but sadly there is not.
I love it. I love the zoom in. Yes, he used his teleport.
Oh,
Indeed, we might have some action.
If he had a ward, if there was a ward anywhere else, Freaka would have been like silly for doing what they just did, but now Zeus is almost dead before this fight even starts.
And here we go. They're going to try to push in and poke Kennen alongside of Ezreal.
No flash.
It's actually pretty decent, but, no flash, as you mentioned. And a lot of this poke going wide, they're going to find this. The instant cleanse is there. The Glacial Fissure is in as well, and Blake will have to disengage. Dove kind of by himself, but then they say, we are pacifists. We do not fight.
Nope, I mean, he can't steal an R ultimate right now, so there's not great initiation here outside of the cannon, who doesn't have a teleport and is going to have to flash to start this fight off, but he doesn't have a flash, so
yeah,
it's not going to work. That's going to be Soul to Freaka.
Good poke comes in, and that's enough. And yes, 5Kid will be able to top some damage meters, but they are not able to stop the Cloud Soul from going over to a Freaka. And all of this dilly-dallying around, and not much to show for it. Remember what I said about 6 minutes ago. This is what might happen in this game.
I mean, they're not placing very many wards to give opportunities for teleport flanks with a comp that can utilize that so well. When Freaka walked past the midpoint in the mid lane with 4 champions there, Doran backed and then teleported right to where his team was. If he had been able to walk around or separate with Slicing Maelstrom, they all get wiped there, and then you would get a free Drake, right? But as it turns out, look at all this poke that's coming through here.
Oh, no.
Yeah. That wasn't it.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
What?
Observers are just not even being kind about it either.
Jonas Strong is just on another level, man. He's catches everything.
And
I don't know if you mentioned that, but I did not see that one.
no, I mean, no.
And that's huge. I mean, not having the Gnar ultimate when you're in literally perfect position.
Well,
a play that we've seen so many times.
I mean, I mentioned like he couldn't steal it because I saw his hijack was on cooldown, but I didn't realize that was what happened. In fact, I was like, oh yeah, hijack's on cooldown, so he must have taken something else. I missed it. Nope, that it was even worse than we feared.
So that's the strategy. You just all stack on the Gnar, and then they can't steal his ultimate.
Yeah.
It's next level plays.
Okay, well, Doran, 1v2. It worked last time.
And everybody is collapsing. And now Dread and Fly are like, well, at least we'll kill Doran, but I'm not sure about each other, because immediately Fly dies. Dread is pretty fast. Still going to get some help, but the Solar Flare is perfect as, okay, Gore Drinker, but so many knockups are enough, and that's a double kill now for the Silas. 4 against 3, the Gnar's in the bottom lane with no TP. This is a moment for KT to go for the Baron.
Yeah, Keen does not have teleport, as you mentioned, and I mean, there's a lot of damage here for Leo. I don't know if they can actually do this. I don't think they can, and they're not being decisive about it. Dove's getting the blue buff real quick, and if Freaka, 2 members will zone away 4, and that gives enough time for Keen to show up here. So KT, even with the 1v2 bait, I guess you could say, from Doran, the unintentional bait doesn't end up getting them that big objective here on the map. We're going to reset, and the whole thing starts over again as Elder Drake is spawned and up. And KT need to win that fight as Doran is here once again 1v2, and there goes his flash, so that's going to be gone. Does not have teleport, so these are extremely important tools he loses. And when you stopwatch, in this scenario, you guarantee your death because Zoe is going to be able to punish. She does go down for it, But it was a bit messy up here, and then their health bars are a little bit too low to start the Baron. So when we go back to live, 2.5 minutes to go before that Elder spawns, and that is where KT have to make their last stand.
Yeah, and, you know, they have some tools. 5Kid, you know, he's trying his best. He's at his point in time now with the Frozen Heart where he's kind of just frontlining. And he's the only one really doing it. I mean, Blank is there, Zeus is there. Lahens randomly uses Stopwatch in the jungle at 30 minutes into the game. Not making this up. And yeah, it's really up to 5Kid to try to poke them out. Keen's going to have the angle, though, and 5Kid in an unfortunate spot here might have to flash, and that he will. And that's not what you're looking for with objectives available and Afrika ahead.
Yeah. I mean, when you have this much control over the map, KT just don't have options. They can put, you know, Doran in the side lane, but I mean, there's not much he can do. Like, pushing power-wise is going to be punished, so he can't really get many advantages. And, you know, he got his items, the big ones, already. Like, his death cap is going to be the third item he's looking for here, which is still ways away from getting. But he has to catch waves. He has to do it defensively. And there's not a lot they could do to punish Afrika during this time of the game. So Afrika's just kind of going, okay, well, you guys haven't won a single Drake fight yet. I don't think the Elder is going to be different. And we're just going to push mid, group is 5, so nobody can get caught, nobody can get picked. And then in a minute and a half, we're going to win the game. That's the idea. And we have to see something happen. Like, Doran will have to Slicing Maelstrom a team fight. That will have to occur before our eyes.
Theoretically. I mean, you know, we haven't seen it much.
For a KT to win a team fight, that will have to happen, I believe. I'm going to make the statement.
I think I read that in a book somewhere, because I definitely didn't see it here in this game.
If it doesn't happen, I don't think KT happened in this game.
It's very true. Yeah, I mean,
or a Gnar ultimate has to come out from Dove. Like, those are your options.
Yeah. Like, there are some ways to engage on the side of KT. Is okay, here we go. He's going to use it here in the side wave, as now Keen in a bit of trouble. But actually, who's stuck in here with who? As the rest of Afrika make their way over. And Dread not able to get the kill on that one, as Doran is now in amongst everybody, as he immediately gets exhausted and the damage isn't there. And now, with the front line, they can play front to back here for Afrika. They only get one for now, as the Crescent Guard is good, and the Stopwatch as well. But it just feels like Afrika will eventually take this one down as they get the Crescent Guard. They wait it out. The double Stopwatch is not enough, as everybody on the side of KT was gone. And now they can just push if they want, but instead they'll back and go for the Elder. Or no, they'll change their minds and go for the push.
Well, I mean, they can do whatever they want at this point. That should be the game and the series going over to them. Teleport coming through, and they're going for it. That's the Nexus, or rather inhibitor turret down there. Nexus turrets will be the next target.
Yeah, and a lot of stuff missing, right? A bunch of flashes being picked up. Fly's got another one, and that's going to be their cue to get out of here.
Yeah.
Let's go for that Elder Drake.
Does buy a lot of time for the respawns to come through here for KT. Doran has teleport, but does not have Slicing Maelstrom, unfortunately. I know I've really tunnel vision on this one quite a bit, but you already hijacked the Gnar ultimate, as Dove does respawn here. Last chance, KT, and you have no vision, you have no control over the map.
They got a Braum in position, they got a Mega Gnar in position. There's not much way for KT to get in on this one, as everybody gets Gnar'd back, and the Solar Flare is not going to do it either. I'm sorry, Zeus, as he will burn down and be taken out. And now Dove, one last try. Nope, that's not it either. He gets into that back line, but he's all alone, and it's getting pretty messy now. Afrika saying, let's put an end to this game. And I think they really want it at this point. Doran is not quite going to burn down, but Blank will eventually, as 5Kid still alive somehow. Let's see this 1v1.
I feel bad for 5Kid in this game.
Oh, he's gonna, nope. There you go.
The Elder Drake
over the wall. That's going to do it. Afrika should be able to push this one in, although they are kind of low, and they don't have Baron, and the wave is taking a while. But it's only Leona that is respawning, and Keen just runs in the front door, and that is going to do it. Afrika will take this game.
Yep, they will eventually win it out. KT had a lot of advantages in the early game, but they could not translate that into a win. That was a story of them in this summer season. Great start to a lot of the games. Couldn't stick the landing, couldn't figure out the late game. And as they did not make playoffs, they will lose their last best-of-3 of the season. Doesn't feel poetic, doesn't feel happy here, but it's time to focus on next year.
Yeah. As Dub will give it one last try, but man.